Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Melanie Jones, Editor-in-Chief of Utah Business, and I am joined today by Jim Porter from the World Trade Center. He is the Senior Director of Strategy and Operations there. Jim, can you tell us more about World Trade Center and what it is you do for the companies in our community through World Trade Center?
I can. Thanks, Melanie. The World Trade Center Utah is a public-private partnership in the state that works closely with the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity to help companies in the state to grow their global footprint. That means accelerating sales growth overseas. It also means diversifying and optimizing your supply chains. Sometimes it means bringing venture capital and other investment back here into the state of Utah. And in this position, we work with hundreds of companies every year, taking them to international markets, helping them to research opportunities, helping them to get connected with manufacturers and business partners abroad, and otherwise support the growth of Utah's economy through anything international.
Perfect. And the topic of your session is taking my business international, why and where. Can you give the audience a little sneak peek of what they can expect to learn from your presentation?
I can. We work primarily with small and mid-sized businesses here in the state. And what I find is that business owners of companies this size have really tough trade-offs to make when it comes to how they grow their business. They're cash constrained, they're bandwidth constrained. And because of that, when you look at international, really they see a big question mark. The questions are, okay, is there really opportunity for me out there? Is there a good product market fit? What are the costs to go international? And what are the risks? What should I be worried about? And because those questions are there, it can be hard to approach international in a way that's smart for your business. It's hard to make that trade-off and know that you're making a good decision. So what we'll talk about in our session is, okay, how do you know when going international is right for you? What are the real reasons why you would want to do it? When do companies that are like yours do it? How much revenue should you expect to be bringing in from international business once you're 5 million or 10 million in annual revenue? What are the real costs associated with going international? We all know that we'll have to travel. We all know that there are new relationships, but what does that actually mean for your bottom line? And then we'll talk about risk. How do you protect yourselves overseas and ensure that you're not putting yourself in danger or making yourself vulnerable to the real risks that are involved with taking your company international? As an example of what we'll talk about in more depth, the primary problem I see most small and mid-sized companies making as they start their international growth is going too broad, too fast. As you start receiving demand signals from overseas and filling off one-off orders in Canada and the UK and in Australia, that there's something exciting about recognizing that there's a market for your product and you want to take advantage of that now while the iron's hot. So what you do is you put your best salesman or one of your best salespeople on the task of finding as many partnerships overseas as quickly as possible to really increase your access to international markets. And by the end of 2 or 3 years, you've got 15 new distributor relationships that are covering 20 or 30 different markets for your company. The world looks bright, and then it languishes. And companies struggle they wonder why. Why is it that happens? And that's because one of the key costs to doing business internationally is not travel, right? It's not the locked margin that you have from working with new partners and having new intermediaries. It's the bandwidth that you have to devote to making these partnerships successful over time. And when you don't have the proper bandwidth or the proper people working on these accounts, what happens is those partnerships languish. Your distribution partners feel like they're not getting the attention that they need or the support that they need for their own customers, and the relationship kind of gets put on ice from their side. So as a company, what you should be thinking about is, how do I build a successful model for international growth that I can scale? And the best way to do that is to start by building deep relationships with the right partners in key international markets for your product. Not trying to go so broad so fast, but ensuring that you know that you can build a successful partnership that's profitable for you and them. That then, once you've done that, you really understand what the costs are going to be for you, and you can scale. You can scale as you desire. And so that's the kind of problem we're going to talk about in our session, along with a number of other topics and interesting points. I hope you'll join me for our session come November.
Thank you so much, Jim. I am personally really excited about your session. I started my career in international business as an international account manager, and even the things you're saying, I can look back and see how they applied to me in my business. I wish I had you back then, but you're probably too young. Anyway, I hope that everybody watching, if you are considering taking your business international, or you haven't been considering, but this piqued your interest and maybe now you want to think about it, hope that you'll join us for Jim Porter's session at Utah Business Forward this November at the Grand America Hotel. Registration link is below in the comments, and make sure you register soon because there are discounts for registering early. So hope to see you all there. Thanks again, Jim, for joining and for being part of our program.
Thank you, Melanie.